Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, to the world away. We now got part 9 of Hachette Part Works, built the Spitfire Mk1a. This is going to be a really fiddly one. We're going to be doing engine top covers in this one, and we've got all the cables to go, and we're also going to be adding some more details to the supercharger, as you can see on my little 3D render here. In the last issue, let me just show you where we're up to. This is what the engine looks like. We hadn't attached this bit yet, so obviously that comes out, but we're going to need this bit first because this is what we're going to be working on mainly. But to start off with, we are going to be working along the top of the engine there. It's probably best to actually show you exactly what we're going to be doing. As you can see, these are all the parts here. Now, I've kept them carefully in the box as usual, just like that, because it does help that if you keep them in the box, the top one is always the left one. So that's left, that's right, that's left, that's right. It's worth noting that because especially these sections look pretty much identical, but it does help when we actually put them together. So put that to one side. The pieces I just pointed to there are actually metal, just so you know. So the quality of this build is amazing. We're going to need our sprue cutters for this one. We've got some sprues to take off. And again, these are in my Amazon store. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing the engine top cover, getting that all together, adding some details to the side of the supercharger there, and then we're going to be putting all of this together on the engine with some cables. So this should be the finished result there. Now on the next issue, we're going to be having some exhaust system vents that come out the side of the engine there. That's going to be stage 10. I'm hoping, because normally in the news agents that comes every 2 weeks at the moment because of the coronavirus, but I have got a delivery on the way which should have issue 10 in there as well, so hopefully that might be here actually next week. But I've been really nervous about this one because every time I see loads and loads of parts I'm like, oh god, here we go. But I'll tell you what, some of the parts are fiddly, so once again I'm going to need my glasses for this. Probably turn the light on, Wayne, because every time I use these I forget to turn the light on. Now, a happy coincidence today, it's Captain Todd Moore's 100th birthday. Now if you're not sure who Captain Tom Moore is, he's a 100-year-old war veteran who has been doing laps of his garden to for a charitable cause to raise some money for the NHS. Now he wanted to reach £1,000. What he's actually reached now is £30 million, and obviously I believe this is a global phenomenon, so I'm sure you've all heard of Captain Tom Moore. The RAF have laid on a fly pass for him for some Spitfires today, as you can see in this here, and he has also been made an honorary colonel, which is absolutely brilliant. But it does tie in well because today we're building the Spitfire. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing he wants us to do is to take the top pipe, upper and lower here. So I'll just get these two out. Now these are metal, you can hear that when I drop them down, but as you can see we've just got two lugs in there, two pins in this one, so these are actually just going to be pinned together the right way round. So the ends here, because the ends are different, as you can see, you've got one with that end rather than that, and they go together. Now gonna need some glue for that, so once again I'm using my pin vise. I have had some questions in my last video about the pin vise. Where do I get the pins from? Well, the pins that are actually in the vise are just normal pins. All I do is I use my sprue cutter and cut the heads off them, so that is just a normal pin in there. So it's nothing too special. What I'll do is I'll drop some glue just inside, once again, the lugs here. There's one there. Put this one in as well. That's two. And then we'll push this together. Now, being metal, I'm using super glue for this bit. So hold that in. Once that's done, as you can see, that's in place, all completed. So next we need the engine top cover and the engine pipe here. Now we need the left hand side. Now if you have a look closely on this, I don't know if you can see it on the close up, there is an L in there which lets you locate the exact piece you need, and this is what the pipe needs. Now the pipe has got one section which sort of bends over just like that, and obviously hasn't got that on the other side. That's going to go towards the left of the engine cover there. So when we put this in, got a hole just at the top there, that's going to go in just like that. Now once again I've pushed that in, and I'll be honest with you, that's not coming out at all. It does say we can apply a little bit of super glue to that, but I'm just since I've pushed it in I was going to say it won't come out. It is a snug fit. I'll be honest with you, I don't even think we need to put some super glue in there, but I will. I'm just going to touch it into the lug sections here and just on the other side here, and then we'll put this back in, and that is never ever 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 going to move from there. There we go. So once that's completed, that's going to look just like that. We do the same to the other side now. So once again, we take the other top cover here, and as you can see, this one's got an R at the bottom of it, and just the pipe that's going to go onto the top. I'll drop some glue once again, just into these holes here. 1, 2, and then I'll push this into place. 1, this side in as well. 2, and there we go. That is the 2 engine top covers completed. Now we're going to be putting these onto the center pipe that we completed at the center. Now if I've got this section here, the circle section, pointing towards me, then this side is going to be the right side, this side's going to be the left side. So I'll take the right side engine top cover there, and that's going to go in these 2 holes just like this, and it needs to kind of sit flat in there so it actually points up at an angle. So what I'm going to do, these need to be glued in, so I'll drop some glue just into those 3 lug holes there. 1. Did I say 3? I meant 2. It's early, people. Make sure I've got the right one again. Right, so that's right. And we'll put that one in first. Making sure that we're holding it down into the direction that it needs to go, because you don't want the angle to be wrong on that. And that's that one in just like that. And if I just show you closely, then you get an idea of what end goes where. So we'll put the other side in. One. 2. Once again, put the other side in, making sure we put this at the correct angle it needs to sit in. Holding that for a second, and as you can see, just on the top camera there, that's what that looks like. Probably better on the side camera actually, just to show you the orientation of how that looks from the back and from the front. Okay, we can put that to one side now because we're going to be breaking open some sprues. Now the first parts we need, in the instructions are labelled A and B, but actually on the sprue they're labelled 3 and 4. So I'm going to get these 2 off now with my sprue cutters. Once again, these sprue cutters are available in my Amazon store, and every time I use these I put the links down the bottom. And as I said, I have got a US store now rather than just a UK store, so you should be able to order these through the UK site. Now when we cut off this piece of sprue here, it has actually got a little bit more of a sort of like a bit coming off of it, so we need to make sure that we're actually slicing this in the correct place. So if I get this in, I'll show you exactly where that comes off, just like that. And if I show you a close-up of the camera there, that's what that looks like. Now quite simply, all we're going to do is just attach these 2 bits together, which means we're going to drop some glue just into those holes around here. And because there isn't actually a lug that actually fits these together, which I find quite surprising, I'm just going to put some just around the edge there to keep this piece in, because the way it's going to go is you can see a hole in this section here, that's just going to cover that lug there, so the detail actually fits together just like that. We've still got some sections at the top there, but that's what that looks like. Then we need to do the same for the other parts we got here, which are parts C and D. I'm just seeing how these cut off. 2, 3, 4. And then exactly the same way, the shape of the lug on this side is just going to go into the recess on this side, just like that. So we've got some glue just into the inside there. This one is a real fiddly issue. Lots of little things to do in it, and I think it follows the law of 8s and 9s, which is basically every 8 or 9 issues you're going to get a real fiddly one. Oh, let's put that in the right way, this way around, and that goes in just like that. Now we need to bring over the supercharger that we worked in the last issue, because we've got a couple of holes just into the side, this side here and the other side here where these details that we just made are going to go in. So the detail that we just made is going to go into this side of the supercharger nearest to the pipe. We've got a little sort of lug just at the end there, and that's just going to go in like that. So get some glue in there. Now remember, we're actually sticking now plastic to metal. So you are going to make sure you need a really good glue to stick that together. I'm going to put that in now. Oops. See, I'm trying to put it in the wrong way again. Wait. And just hold that into place. Just for a couple of seconds. And then that will hold itself just like that. We do the same on the other side here with the other detail that we made first. That's going to go into this hole here. And then once again, put that in, hold it in place. They actually angle the same as each other. So as you can see, if I show you sideways, the angle of that is exactly the same as the angle on the other side there. So next thing we're going to do is going to take the coolant pipe looking like that with this extra section here. That extra section, when we put it between the two parts we put in, is going to be pointing outwards towards this mount of the engine here, which is going to eventually, this mount should I say, of the supercharger, which is eventually going to go on the engine. So what I'm going to do, we've got two holes, one, oh let's see if you can see this, one here on that detail, one the other side on the detail, just on the other side there. We're going to actually just put that in and keep that in place. Now I'm going to do a dry fit because in this section there is actually two holes in there. It's the hole nearest to the mount that's going to go onto the engine there that we're actually going to put this in. So I'll put one side in. You're going to have to go underneath that pipe to get this in. Just like that. And then I'm just going to say this pipe is movable, so it has got some flex to it. So I'll put that pipe in. I haven't glued it yet because I just wanted to get the orientation right. As I said, you have got a hole nearest to the end of this engine bay mount here on the supercharger, and we've got another hole the same side on the detail that we've just put on this side. So from the top it's going to look like that. It's going to look like that from this side. Now they want us to drop a bit of glue in there. Because I've put it into place, I don't really want to move it around now. And because it is plastic, I am going to just put some Tamiya extra thin cement in there to keep that in place. So I've got that here, and I'm just going to put it around the holes on that section there. The same on this side here. Being very careful not to get it anywhere else, because I am very much aware that there is another hole next to this one that a pipe's going to be going in. There we go. That soaks into the joint and that will hold that in. And when that's completed, that will look just like that. And then comes a brilliant time where we're actually going to attach the engine here to the supercharger details. Now we've got 4 holes in this section here. We've got 4 lugs in here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop, this is metal, so we're going to need to put some glue in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue just into these holes. And because it's quite a big surface area, I'm not using my pin. I am actually just swamping this in. And then we'll piece this together. And that is what, that looks really good, doesn't it? That's what that looks like when that's in place. Absolutely brilliant. Now we're going to take the engine top covers that we saw last time with the pipes on top. And as you can see, we've got one end which has got a small lug, I guess, which is going to actually fit into the pipe that's coming off the supercharger there. And they do say that if we wanted to, we could just put a little bit of glue just on the inside of that. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in and just see how it fits first. And it does fit really good in there. I don't know if I want to glue that actually, because this part is metal. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to keep that like that just for the minute. They did say that the details will hold this into place anyway, so I'm going to go with that. As you can see, it's not going to come out. Look, I can shake it, so I think I'm going to leave it just like that for now. Now this is going to be a little bit hard to see, but here we're not looking at the hole. There's actually a recess in there, just a little tiny recess, which is the same shape as the end of this pipe here, just like that, which looks a bit like a hammerhead. That's basically going to be going this side into there, and the other end of this pipe here is going to go into the top of the supercharger. So if I give you a dry fit and show you how this is going to look, it's going to kind of look like that. But I think the best thing to do is to put this top in first with a tiny bit of glue, and then we'll be able to line up the bottom pipe afterwards. So for that reason, I'm only applying the tiniest bit of glue to this part here, just to get that into the recess there. And you probably will need your magnifying glasses for this. So that's the top bit in, just like that. Then I'll drop some glue just into the supercharger hole that we've got right there, and then that pipe is fully in. Put the glue in there just like that. I'm going to use my tweezers here, just push that in. And there you go, that's that section in there. Then we've got another pipe which looks like this, which has got a sort of big block on the end of it. Now this block on the end has got a lug just underneath it, as you can see there. And that lug is going to go again into the top of the supercharger here. As you can see, it's got a hole just at the top there. So if I put this piece in dry as well, it'll give you an idea of how this goes. Now it may be me, but in the pictures it kind of looks like this lead here should be over this side here going into that. If it did that, this pipe wouldn't fit, I'll tell you that now. And it makes more sense that the smaller pipe here, which if I put it in again, goes, it's a very small lead here, goes towards obviously the nearest part here, because there's no way that pipe is going to reach over to that side there. So I'm doing it this way. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but the pictures aren't very clear on that at all, to be honest with you. So once again, I'm going to put just a top touch of glue just on the end of this section here, which is going to stick again to the other side of the engine here. It's a little bit different this time though, because there is a tiny pipe in the way there. So obviously we're going to need to mold it round that pipe to get this section here just into the top of the supercharger. So I'll put some glue just into the top of the supercharger, and then we'll train this into place. So I'm holding that in there. You may need to unbend that wire a little bit just to get that in. But as you can see, that's now what that looks like. It's got in absolutely perfect actually. But it doesn't make sense that these are the wrong way, if these are the wrong way round. They seem right to me, but there you go. And now the last pipe we're going to be putting in is going to be this way round. As you can see, we've already got a pipe there, a silver pipe. It's going to be on the other side to this. Now the larger end is going to go into the supercharger side, and the smaller end here is just going to go onto the side of the engine. Kind of like, as you just saw there before it fell out, kind of like that. So let's get this glued in. Put a touch of glue in there. Touch of glue in this side, and I think I'll put the bigger piece in first. Making sure it fits flat in there, and then I'll train this just behind this detail here, and we'll get the other end in. Now, of course, the next question is, should that cable there be in front of this detail or behind? Well, it doesn't really matter, because if I need to move that, as you can see, it's quite easily to move. So if I need to tuck it behind, I can. But that is this issue completed. And that looks really impressive, doesn't it? Yep, really happy about that. I wish the pictures were a little bit better. I think that's my only criticism. The pictures are in black and white, and as you see when they come up on the screen, they don't really show you much detail, so it leaves you some interpretation. But using common sense, there's no way those pipes could have gone in a different ways, and I really didn't want to break them, that's for sure. But I really do hope you like that video. Hopefully, as I said, the next one, issue 10, will be out next week. I know a lot of you subscribers out there have already got up to issue 10, and I've also got mine on the way as well, so that's exciting. But if you did like that video, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Remember, tonight I've got a live stream, and tomorrow we're going to go back to the Ferrari. Other than that, take care.